Go ahead and introduce yourself to the people that may have not heard of you or don't know you.
They call me Van, but my artist name's my brother Van. And I appreciate you for having me, man. Super honored, dude. This is fucking cool. Put up to the spot. We vibing out, talking about art. This is peak artist life right here, man. This is
Mhm.
the birth of new things.
This is a little bit of a loaded question, but who is Van?
I think what I think Van is an ordinary dude who tries to do extraordinary things. And that's the simplest way to explain it because I don't think I'm that much different than anybody else, but I definitely try to do more than most people. And my art is a reflection of that energy of just trying to empower yourself to be greater than you were the day before. And whether it's by getting out, releasing certain things or grabbing a hold of new things, that is the fuel to why I do music to express that drive.
Earlier this year, I embarked on a journey called the Gift of Creativity that I released about a year ago.
Hmm.
And during that journey, I asked myself a couple fundamental questions, and I myself had trouble answering them. So I also asked artists that I included in the video those same questions. So I like to also present you with those questions.
Right on. Well, shoot.
The first one is to you, what is art?
Such a deep question, but I think art is like an external manifestation of internal emotions, or thoughts. I think that is like at the root of what everyone is doing, from my perspective, is that these are all internal emotions or thoughts that we have that we express externally using the resources we have, whatever resources we want. Because you kind of get into like, what is art? Is it tangible? Is it something that you have to construct or perform? Can a person who plays basketball be an artist? Like, do you need a muse? Can a sport, like in sports, which is where my background is, I'm an ex-athlete. I always felt like I was being creative out there, which I connect to being artistic. And it starts like with just like emotions and thoughts. But to me, art is anything that you express in an outwardly way, some kind of feeling that you're trying to communicate to people.
Great answer. To follow up that, to you, what is then creativity?
The spectrum of which you can display or communicate your art or communicate your thought or your emotions. Like, you can probably be creative in things that aren't really artistic. Problem solving is creativity. The labeling of the spectrum of like a variety of choices you can make, and it's an expansion of deciding on how you're going to solve some problem. It is like looking at things in a wider lens than like what we usually operate in.
You kind of already answered my next question, but to kind of bring your thoughts together, how then does art relate to creativity?
I guess it is just one of the mediums, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause I think you can be creative in a lot of ways. Like, I think like a mom trying to solve problems with like feeding her child, that can use creativity. But is it art when she does that? I don't know. Like, that's subjective. I think art is creativity because it is a looking to solve a problem in a wider lens. It's like using more tools, more resources, more ideas to solve the problem of expression. I mean, that's a question that people have been asking for thousands of years, bro. Like, the Egyptians, fucking Aristotle, Sumerians, they all probably been like, "What is art, bro?" And you probably get
Mhm.
1,000 different answers. So that's just like the answer I have right now. It might evolve later. I might fucking 10 years from now say a wholly different answer.
Honestly, that's the main goal with these questions because my goal isn't to give an answer to what I'm asking, to continue the conversation on it because I feel like some of these core elements we don't really think of.
Yeah.
And part of that quintessential is getting down to the essential elements of something.
The
Like
root.
what makes you yourself, what makes you creative, what makes art art.
Yeah, it's good to have the conversation. I mean,
Mhm.
even if you don't have like a fucking refined answer, an exact answer, the think about it is important.
Yes.
Because if you can forget sometimes. Sometimes you have to ask yourself like why you're doing things. Like, even us. Like, why am I making this? It's like, do you even know? Do you even remember? And like, people can lose sight of that voice, that reason. So you asking the question can just remind you of like either like, oh, this is why, or hey man, I don't even though I got all this, I still don't there's things I don't know. And
Mhm.
that's okay. But yeah, it's like a little check-in, you know what I'm saying? You gotta check in with yourself, and that's good to do. And other people doing it too with you, I think there's value in it as well. Having that conversation with other people, which is rare nowadays.
Mhm.
Before, people used to talk about this shit in a community, and now people are just talking to themselves in like their little echo chamber. I think you benefit from having other people also in that discussion that don't think like you, because you might even not be aware of some shit of like what you're doing, why you're doing, and how it connects to the art you're doing. And yeah, so
How important is then self-expression? Because you talked about how to you art is that expression. So how
mm.
important is it to express yourself and then also talk about the importance of growth?
The importance of expressing yourself to me is a big part of the human experience in our age, because and maybe just always been where we have a lot of things that can overshadow our internal voice, because we're very programmed in our society today to like be a certain way, do a certain thing. It's very robotic. I'm a very anti-bot guy. Certain things bots, yes, so fine, that's whatever. But like I love human beings, and I feel like our modern civilization makes us bot-like, robot-like, and you lose your voice when you do that. And that's how you can have people oppress you and do all these wild shit to you, and take a lot of abuse and be in fucked up situations, because like you're not even comfortable speaking your voice and how you feel and your emotions. People doing art in some kind of way is very important, because art forces you to look internally at your voice. It's one of the few things that like is all off of your voice. It's like no one else's voice. It's just yours. It's no boss telling you. It's not even really like some maybe a consumer of it, but like initially, like it's all self-driven, and it's important because people act like you're not that significant and your voice isn't that significant, and they tell it to you directly or indirectly. But like when you do art, you fucking be like, oh, that's what I feel, that's what I sound like, that's what I think.
Mhm.
So that's why it's super important. And then I think, what was the second part of your
The
question of what?
second part is the importance of growth.
I personally am all about growth. So you're asking a guy who's like pro growth. I don't think people should be, because if you look at it in a scientific way, which is like in terms of energy, energy is never lost nor gained. It's just transformed. It's just like there's laws of motion with energy. There's laws where it's like if you're not going forward, you're kind of going. I think there's a law that says that. Like, so if you're not going forward, you're going backwards. Like you can't, there's no real thing as like being stagnant. Like it's like, so it's like your muscles, like if you don't work out your muscle, it doesn't just stay at its strength it
Mhm.
was. It actually gets weaker. It's like you have to keep expanding your mind physically and mentally, and even spiritually and emotionally, all these things. You have to keep progressing in these things, because it is the only way us human beings can like grow. You have to do that and force the stress on your body in all those areas. Otherwise, you will get weaker. And the weaker you are in these areas, I think you're more susceptible to be corrupted, programmed, basically to follow things that are outside of you. You can, there are things that are looking to control your mind and your actions and behaviors. So it's like you gotta grow for survival, for real, for
Mhm.
real. Like them boys don't fucking, they're not stopping your whatever opposition forces are in your society and your environment. Like, crooks always gonna try to cheat you. So it's like you gotta keep educating yourself, keep training, keep sharp, or the wolves will fucking get you. That's another reason.
As a musician, what gave you your start or kind of like what got you into production, singing, rapping, and just music creation?
So that shit was cool. I thought it was fun. I thought it was interesting. So it was much more of like just exploring it, because I was saying some people like Kanye and Cudi and Wayne. Those are like a big trio. And then, before them, even like the Michael Jacksons and the Princes and some of the R&B singers, and like gospel was a big thing in my house. So like music was always interesting. I always like sonically, it was very like peaceful to me, and it was like it was an early escapism as well. That's really where the first thoughts and the drive came, and then to do it like publicly, because that's just like the reason why I did it as a hobby, which is like the first 6 months I was just like just doing it for the fun of it.
Mhm.
It wasn't until I was making a beat at work. I was working at a car wash. Shout out Waterworks. But I was making a beat at work on like a break, and like my coworkers listened to it and they thought it was really good. And I kind of was like, really? Because I had just started doing this shit, and they're like, dude, this is fucking good. You should do that. So they really gassed me up to fucking get into this as like doing it publicly. Yeah, because I ain't know nothing about this, bro. This is nothing in my family. This was not a career path that had any fucking example in my world. It was all like religious, man. Like there was sports and religion. That was literally it. I'm very much like tradition. That's why I sound like I'm an ordinary person, because most people in the South grow up like that.
Mhm.
It's like sports and church.
Same here, sports and church.
Yeah, like so. But yeah, I just fell into it. It was like fate, damn near, I guess.
What are some lessons you learned working through your creative process, whether that's music, other creations, content, or just designing clothing?
I think like something I think about often now is like the skills that you learn or life lessons you learn in one area can benefit you in other areas. Like it's kind of like when you went to school and you're like, why am I studying these subjects? And then one day when you got older, you're like, that subject helped you solve a problem or have a
Mhm.
conversation like that. It's like you didn't know because one point you didn't really it didn't have a value to you that
Yeah, it
was
didn't
like
feel important.
exactly. But like what music taught me was like some of the shit I've been learning my whole life, I'm applying it to building this music career. And I was like, it's kind of crazy because it's like some stuff I have to relearn because I didn't really pay attention. I didn't really focus. Like organization. I've been slightly organized my whole life. Very average. Some things I'm very organized, some things I'm not. When I got into music, I was like, it's exposed how if I was more organized, I think I would be more efficient
Mhm.
with everything I'm doing. So it was like, damn, I got a bad habit that I gotta break so I can just get better at this. But that was something that was very interesting because it's like all these little things that you don't know, like how to talk to people, how to have small talk, how to flirt. Like all these little things you were doing as a jit, you're like, damn, even flirting can help me in music.
Mhm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, or like marketing. Like all of us artists, some of us are not like people persons. We're kind of like to ourselves, introverts and shit. But like I've learned in other aspects, like I was doing business entrepreneurship, and like I've also worked in service industry. So it's like I talked to people. I was bartending at one point. So it's like, damn, all that shit I was learning from this job helps me talk
Yeah.
to venue owners and talk to fucking people at the bar and talk to people at the club and like talking to fans and future fans and like learn how to sell yourself like when you're in a sales position. That was another thing you did a lot, and then you come over here and you're like, oh, I'm doing art but I'm really doing sales as well.
Mhm.
So it's like all overlapping, man.
In the current age of the internet, with anybody being able to having access to recording softwares, being able to upload your song
Hmm.
anywhere you want, do you feel like the accessibility right now of creating and putting out music is a bad thing?
It's only going to be a bad thing if we don't adjust with that situation, because it could be bad because we could have a lot of the wrong type of people or energy in the space. We can get overloaded. So it's like if we were a computer, you putting a lot of programs on the computer could like slow it down. It can make it harder to find other things on your computer. It's just like it could muddle or suppress some of the really good art, the really needed art, because there's so much more in the game. It's so that's a negative that could have, but that's only if we aren't conscious of what's happening and don't adjust with it.
Mhm.
So we would need to have better systems to find the art that deserves to get elevated and giving that the attention it deserves. So it's like to answer your question, it breaks even. It depends on how we handle it, on whether it's going to be a bad thing or be a good thing. Like it can't everything's not going to be perfect, so you can't expect perfection, but we got to be able to like adjust with the times. And I think we're doing that now. You know what I'm saying? Like we talked about earlier with me, like distributing music
Mhm.
and getting paid off of it. Like that's a pivot because no one was really trying to do that themselves until we fucking struggle with streams and like being able to get compensated. So, but we have to pivot. And now, is that a better goal that we kind of have more control? Most people say yeah. So it's like, oh, it turned out good. But then it's like, okay, it is hard as fuck to like get your music out to certain people because there's so many voices and people only got so much time.
Mhm.
So I think right now it's probably more of a negative because we're still trying to catch up.
So, with the current accessibility of music, on top of balancing the different algorithms and whatnot, how do you balance the need for your own self expression with also trying to satisfy an algorithm so people can hear your music?
I'm really, I'm not putting all my eggs into the algorithm. I guess that's the simplest way to answer it. Which is why I try to do more local stuff, in person stuff, more direct stuff. Even with my marketing, I'm like, I want to be things where people can actually see me and hear me, the real me, and not an online version of me. Because I can't control the online shit, or I have less control. When I'm in person, I have more control.
Yeah. I see your current campaign to reach 1,000 real fans.
Yeah.
How important is community to you?
I mean, it's a big part because I wanted to make a home for not just me, but other people who are like me. I didn't want it to, I don't want all the attention. I wanted to be like, this is a platform that he's building, but it's to benefit all of us. It's like the man of a house was like, I work hard and I do all this and I get the good job, I get the good skill, so I can support a family. It's like, I didn't need, I don't need to be the fucking king or whatever. I'd much rather just have, like last night, just be able to make memories with people who I want to make memories with. So you don't can do that with community. Like I
Mhm.
can, have some wins by myself and celebrate myself, but like I don't enjoy that as much as when I'm fucking with my boys or with some girl and we're fucking turning up, having some laughs, eating some s'mores, listening to music, smoking whatever. Like all that shit is like much more better to share the shit with somebody you fuck with.
Mhm. If your art could be remembered for one thing, what would you want it to be?
That the benefit I hope it is an example of the benefit of taking chances.
Can you expound on that?
I say that because I think when people look back at my stuff and saying like he was trying different things and it worked. People resonated with it, people valued it. He went off the unbeaten path and it paid off. He can't, because what happened with his path is now he is unique and he can't be duplicated, or it's harder to duplicate him. And it's like in a world where you're trying to stand out or create your own value, it's like that is more important because you're harder to replace. Whereas someone else who did what everything else was doing and being, the same sound, same thought process, same, it makes them kind of like get lost in the crowd and they can be, they can find someone else who's doing the same thing. And it's like, okay. So I think that's like the thing I want people to see. It's like it's okay to be different. It might be a good thing sometimes.
Would you consider yourself a perfectionist?
I think in my eyes, I'm not at the perfectionist level. I would say if it's like a scale and perfectionist is a 10, I'm probably like at a 7 to 8 because I do hate how stagnant I am. I have been at 9 and 10, and it makes me very stagnant. And I feel like I'm neutral and not progressing by trying to be a perfectionist sometimes because it's like you can always tweak shit. You can always think it needs more. And that's the thing, like in general, if any relationship we have with anything, it's like it could always, like, there's always maybe ways to be better, but like, I think it's more important to appreciate things as they are, and not always strive for perfection because we're like imperfect beings. Like, it's kind of a crazy thing to think that you could like be perfect and do things perfectly. Like, we're not fucking gods, or I mean, I guess it depends on who you ask, but we're not like all powerful things that can just like what no one even knows what perfect is. Like, I don't even know what that is. What is perfect?
Mhm.
So fucking chasing that's
Follow
crazy.
up on that, I was going to ask you, how important is perfection?
I mean, it's important to try to improve and to progress. That's kind of the terms I think of it as in. But perfection is not as important as what people make it seem because some of the things we value the most are not perfect. You can think about the art, shows, jokes, fucking food. Some of the favorite food is not perfect, but it's like perfect for the moment. It made
Mhm.
you happy. Like, why does it need to be perfect? You fucking enjoy it already, dude. You know? Like you ever ate a fucking pizza and was like, damn, that wasn't perfect pizza.
Yeah.
That pizza was, it was alright, it wasn't perfect. Like you're like, nah, dude, fuck that. Like perfect is like no one even knows what that shit is, dude. I remember a girl used to say that shit to me, and I used to be like, I don't even like you saying that word because your
Mhm.
expectations are crazy to me. Like you expect everything to be perfect. You're probably gonna be so stressed your whole fucking life. I can't live like that. It's like just fuck it, man. We'll be okay.
If perfection isn't always seen as important, then why do you think people chase perfection?
I I think they chase it because human beings have to pursue things to occupy their brain in a lot of our society, and it might be something more in the West because I don't know if people in the East are chasing perfection as much. And I think in the sense in the West is because they have this culture that says we have to keep making things better and better and better and better and better because they're trying to create like heaven on earth. Like they want to, I think that's like the underlying cultural drive for people in the West. But it's unobtainable. And this is why every year we still keep improving, improving, improving. Because like you thought that was heaven last year, but no, we got new heaven. We got heaven 2.0. And you're like, and then after a while, some people go, man, I fucking give up. Like you're never like you when I was a bartender, old people used to be like, all the shit we used to chase when we were young, most of it was bullshit.
Hmm.
Most of that shit was bullshit, bro. Looking for this perfect girl, fucking why? Like I should just be building with someone who I trust, who's down. It was like looking for that perfect job. Ain't no fucking perfect job. Even the shit we love got shit we don't like about it.
Grass is not always greener.
No, dude. Like it's like, but it gives us something to do because I think the people in the West are scared with like not pursuing that. It's like that's all we've ever known. It's like if people were just like, let's just wake up like monks and just like enjoy life and just be grateful,
Yeah,
live in
we
the
are
moment.
also the American dream, and then told to do everything, and then you'll have exactly what you want.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And now all of us have student loans
And
and
it's
other
kind of a, it's
bills.
kind of a, it's kind of a finesse because of what it is like exploiting our need for like comfort and convenience and survival to benefit us as being like producers because they want us to produce a lot. So they said like you need to keep working hard, keep getting more stuff and producing more stuff so that we can profit off it. I mean, it depends on who you talk to, but it is a little bit of like, at some point you're like, do we need a better iPhone? Do we need a better TV? Do we need a better like I think we're fucking having fun time already. Like
Yeah,
I'd rather push it towards like the food and the roads and other shit. Like that would be nice. I don't, so that's
yeah.
just like my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I asked those questions because I'm currently doing a deep dive on perfection, talking about the paradox of perfection. So getting other people's thoughts on why do people chase perfection?
Man, you
Is
be asking
perfection
them deep
important?
ass. I always asking the
But
deep
it's
question.
I think perfection and a lot of other things I'll touch on eventually is things that people hear a lot and feel like they understand. But when we start having a conversation, it's hard to really grasp
Yeah, like
what it is and to explain the concept in
yeah,
every element. Because we have things like no one's perfect, find the beauty in the flaws,
yeah,
things like that that we hear. But I'm like, okay, there's a dark side to perfection, but is there another side too? Because I think of Kobe Bryant, for example. He
right, right,
said, "I've been chasing perfection, knowing I won't reach it. But the fact I'm willing to chase it means I'll be so far ahead of
right.
everybody else."
And that he's a good example because the word perfection I think is a radical the end of the spectrum of like progression. Like if it's on a scale, progression is like really what people are trying to do. Everyone's trying to progress. Some people take it to the extreme and go, I want perfection. And it's like it forces you to increase the rate of your progression. So it's like you can get to your end goal faster.
Mhm.
And that's really the only reason because Kobe's smart. He's wise. He knows
He
I
knows
can't
he would never be
I'll
perfect,
never be perfect.
but he did. He
But I
realized,
know if I chase that, I'll be progressing faster than everyone else.
yeah. So we touched a little bit on perfection, but I don't want to go too deep into my whole bag because I'm working on a whole video essay.
Woo!
But to pivot off of that, we
Mm-hmm.
talked about the concepts of perfection being perfect, but another aspect you look at around perfection is success.
Mm.
So to you, what determines success?
I actually haven't. I'm trying to think about this too much. I feel like when I start thinking about that, I think I get too much in my head, personally. But I think success to me is like creating something that benefits people. That is the things that I can count as like a win, and to do that in a way that's authentic and pure for more and more people is like what I would call six being like being successful at doing something. So, but I don't know, like success was always like tied to like a business kind of mentality, and I don't want the business part of it to be like my front thinking with what I'm doing. Like I just go like I want to impact. So it's like if I'm impacting a lot of people in a positive way, then yeah, and in my life I'd be like, man, I think I did some successful things, but I don't even like labeling things successful. I just like, man, I love that it impacted. Like I just leave it at that.
Mm.
Like I don't try to go too deep in a lot of things because I think it can stagnate you just thinking about it. Like like it's kind of like talking about the thing so much or thinking about the thing so much that I'm not doing the thing. And it's like we got to start doing the things. That's way more important than not like just sitting there thinking too much. And I've definitely done that before, so that's why I don't try to do it no more.
I've had to do that myself. I've stopped saying I was going to do something because a little check mark in your mind that says, "Oh, you already did it because you
Yeah,
said you were
yeah,
going to do it."
yeah.
And instead of saying it, doing it, because actions speak louder than the words you say
For
to
sure, dude.
yourself.
That's why I showed that merch, bro. That say let's do more shit, bro. That's why I'm like I'm just gonna be doing stuff, and then if I feel good, people feel good. That then it's a win. I'm happy.
To follow up on the first success question, do you feel successful?
To be honest, I think I do feel successful because I have successfully created something from nothing and made it of value to people who didn't value it before. It's like I created something from nothing with this interaction between me and my fans of what I do and my supporters. And because it is not a guarantee that these things can happen, even though you might think it is, like there's a lot of people who don't have what I have and don't have the ability to do what I do, and don't have people who appreciate it the way they appreciate it. Like fucking last night, people fucking showed some real love to make that thing happen. You know what I'm saying? Like I was just like, damn, people are fucking in the city like talking about for the clan and shit, bro. Like that's like all I saw. That's crazy to me, and it's fucking awesome. And it's just like I feel like I am winning more now than ever before because it's like it is not something online. It is like something that people really feel. It's like you online shit. You don't even know what's real, what's fake anymore. But I know those fucking smiles and those pictures and those
Mhm.
hugs and the fucking laughs. I know that shit was real.
Yeah, I feel like the physical interactions always mean so much more than a thumbs up or a like on the screen.
100%, 100%. That's gonna be a big part, I think, for us in the future. I think people are gonna really be like, man, I can't trust this shit online anymore. As more and more fake shit gets on there,
I
that's why
think
having the real shit is,
there has already been a shift
yeah,
to like people long for community because I
yeah,
feel like even before COVID, so many things were advancing online and you could do everything from your house.
mm-hmm,
COVID pushed it so much more now that content people took advantage of it with the live streaming. Now they made whole careers off of it. So people
mm-hmm,
want to sit and be parasocial instead of being actually social. But I think the everybody being forced to shut in for like now there's been like a need for the community or the
mm-hmm,
third place like we were talking about a little bit off camera.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think the clan hangs I'm doing are a big part of that. Cause like when I start, I'm into people. Like I look at people, I study people, I like see what they do and go like, okay, it helps me understand where people are at by their actions and their behaviors. Cause it's like you can tell people's minds are about how they what they put their time towards. And like even the online shit, you like the biggest streamers right now, a lot of them stream a group of them with their peoples.
Mhm.
It's not just them. Like the Kai guy, like every time I see his shit, it's like him and at least one other person and interacting together. People are like, I'd rather watch that than like someone just by themselves. So it's like whatever you're doing, it's like if there's people, if there's a group of people with you, even it was like even with the fucking with Bible stuff. Like my mom used to always tell her two or three two or three are gathered. That was always
Mhm.
a big thing with Christians. So it's like that same energy is like I found out it was true with everything. Like it's more fun when there's the homies are there or your fans are there or some your community's there. And like that's definitely something where like last night people were like, man, I haven't done something like this in a long time. So it's kind of crazy because we fucking used to do this all the time. We used to always celebrate things together.
Mhm.
Now everyone's just like in the rooms. And people just gotta help bring it back. That's all. You know what I'm saying? You gotta adjust.
Slowly wrapping this up, I always like asking everybody I interview the same question. What advice would you give to a younger Van?
I would say to be a little bit more patient. I think being a little bit more patient. You know, when you're younger, you kind of feel like you have to do everything all out. Like, you just kind of sprint where you can like, man, nah, just be consistent. And I think that on top of working, letting other people in to helping whether you're following someone like who's like a mentor situation and starting like kind of at the bottom, because really no shortcuts to this type of shit. So people try to like think, oh, I'll just do it by myself. I can skip some steps, or I can just like circumvent going through that traditional pathway. But like it can bite you in the butt. So you need to have like the right search for the right people early and when you're doing it. You know, I did well while I was doing shit. I was always doing shit, so everyone knows like, bro, he's doing things. Like he's learning as he go. He's not just talking.
Mhm.
But I did do that too much sometimes, where I was like, wasted a lot of money, and did things where I should have put my time into. I could have put time to other things, so it did hurt me in some of those situations. But being a little more patient and then opening up to other people earlier, um, and because I had like trust issues with a lot of people who were coming around. I was like, oh, I don't know about y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
you got a little bit of emotion. People start hopping around. You're like, are you guys real, or are you just trying to exploit situation type of shit? But I needed like a better vetting process to be, and then I just had to take a chance. I think if I'd done that earlier, things would have been a little bit better here. But ultimately, you know what I'm saying? This was the way it happened, and I think there's going to be a benefit to it where people are going to be like, man, I relate to him because he really got out the mud. He really like went the path that a lot of people go through where it's like you're just alone trying to figure shit out. And even he was able to figure it out. There's possible, but they're going to see like I tapped in with some fucking real talent, some real authentic artists. And like, it wasn't just me. I'm not the reason by myself on how I got to this space. So like to conclude this answer, sorry to be long-winded, but when you go to an artist award show, like the mainstream artists, you used to hear them thank a lot of people.
Mhm.
And you don't really get to see those people on TV. You don't get to see those people on the videos all the time. But there's a lot of people who are behind these people. And it's like this guy told me like when you're competing to get into this market space of being a music artist, you're competing with teams. So it's like the odds are so low that you'll outwork a team of people. So it's like, damn, you should build that team a little earlier. Make sure you got a good team in the beginning because it'll help with your chances for sure.
Do you have any closing words for the listeners?
Yeah, I would say use your voice in all the things. Like if you're an artist, your voice is your one of your first tools and probably your best tool. And to use it for everything, whether it's asking for help, whether it's communicating or protesting things that you find to be damaging to you and your community, like use your voice. Like don't be scared to talk, and because people are listening. If some people you don't even know are listening. And then and be the example. Be the example. Be the thing you want to see. Like whatever you want to see, you got to be the example of. If you want the world to be a better place, be the example. You start doing that, and I think you'll be in a good spot.
Well, man, thank you for sharing your voice, your thoughts, your creativity.
Hey,
Thank
yeah,
you for being true to yourself and representing what you represent. And as always, keep it quintessential.
for sure. For the clan. Thanks for having me, bro.